Ismailia, Egypt, January 1952. British soldiers patrol the streets. This small canal town has always been multi-ethnic, but now the entire place is tense. For decades, the British have ruled Egypt, much to the anger of many Egyptians who want their freedom back. But since the end of World War II, things have been especially bad. Now, British troops are occupying Egypt despite the war being over. They're getting supplies from the Suez Canal, which cuts across Egypt, all while defying demands from the United Nations to leave. On top of that, there's one more problem: Egyptian police. All throughout the city of Ismailia, Egyptian police officers secretly prepare for action. Their leader is the determined Captain Hassan, a decorated veteran of the war who saw firsthand how oppressive the British can be. He knows that his men will need help from the people of Ismail, and so he begins to rally them. For weeks, he organizes secret meetings with local leaders, telling them of an upcoming plan to drive the British out of the city. They agree to help, knowing that if the British leave Ismail, it could be the spark that ignites the rest of Egypt. Now, because this is a true story, we know it will not end well for Captain Hassan and his men. But for now, they are hopeful. Soon, Captain Hassan will lead the charge against the British. But first, he must wait for the perfect moment to strike. He chooses January. At around 3:30 in the morning, Hassan gathers his men. It's time to act. The first order goes out. Egyptian policemen will disarm all the British soldiers they come across and take them prisoner. At the same time, other policemen will seize key locations around the city. Meanwhile, the townspeople will do their part by blocking the roads leading into Ismailia. They set up barricades, cutting off reinforcements from reaching the city. One of the first targets is the railway station. Here, a group of armed policemen under the command of Lieutenant Khaled wait for their moment. Soon, a train arrives carrying British soldiers. At the same time, Hassan's men quietly disarm the guards at the station, seizing the weapons for themselves. As the train arrives, Hassan gives the order to fire. The British soldiers have no idea what hit them. Within seconds, the entire train is surrounded. Any soldier foolish enough to leave the train is quickly shot down. Eventually, most of the soldiers surrender, realizing it's pointless to resist. Some, however, refuse to give up. These men fight until their guns are empty. Hassan's men take them prisoner. Soon, the news of the rebellion spreads throughout the city. Everywhere, British soldiers are surrendering to the Egyptians. Those who try to flee are quickly picked off by sharpshooters hidden in the buildings. While the Egyptian police are heroes at this moment, they're also very much in danger. If the British call for backup and reinforcements arrive before they can capture the city, then they will be trapped. That's why Captain Hassan ordered them to seize the local telephone lines. This prevents the British from calling for help. But they have another trick up their sleeve. The British have been suspicious of the Egyptians for some time now. They know that the people here hate their guts, so they bugged several locations with hidden microphones. One of these listening devices is located right next to Hassan's headquarters. Unbeknownst to him, every word he says is being recorded and sent directly to the British commanders in Cairo. Hassan has no way of knowing this, though, and he continues to direct the rebellion, organizing men and women into civilian defense forces. At the same time, he sends out feelers to nearby towns, telling them to rise up and join the revolution. Suddenly, the British commander in Cairo realizes what's happening. Through the bug, he heard about the attack on the train station and realizes that the Egyptians have rebelled. He orders all available troops to Ismailia to put down the rebellion. Now with the civilians, they are able to hold out for a bit longer. But soon, the British reinforcements arrive and the situation becomes desperate. Hassan knows that if the British soldiers reach the center of town, then he will lose. So he makes a last stand on the outskirts with his best men, The battle is fierce and personal. Egyptian policemen and British soldiers kill each other's men. But slowly but surely, the Egyptians begin to run out of ammunition. Every bullet that they don't use now could save a life later. That's why, when Hassan sees a large group of British soldiers approaching, he gives the order to retreat. His men drop what they're doing and run away. As the British enter the town, they see that the Egyptians have vanished. They find the weapons the Egyptians used, but their enemies seem to have disappeared. When the dust settles, the British realize they have won a tactical victory. The people of Ismailia have paid dearly for their freedom, though. Many civilians have been killed and wounded. The shops and homes of the people are destroyed. For the British occupiers, this is a costly victory. It will take a lot of time and money to put down the rebellion in Ismailia. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. The damage done to Ismailia is nothing compared to what will happen 2 months later in the Battle of Kantara. But for now, the British are victorious in Ismailia. What they don't know is that they just accelerated the inevitable. The spark has been lit, and the whole country of Egypt will soon explode into revolution. But where did this leave Hassan and his men? Surely the British wouldn't let this slide, right? Well, they actually did. After the battle, Hassan and his men retreated to safer areas where they continued the fight. They would never be caught alive. In fact, the British kept hunting Hassan for years, believing him to be a dangerous criminal. They offered him a noble title and position in their army if he would just surrender, but Hassan refused. Finally, the British caught up with him in July 1952. They cornered him and his men in a building in Alexandria. There was nowhere left for them to run. Realizing it was the end of the line, Hassan and his men fought to the death. None of them survived. The British buried Hassan and his men in an unmarked grave. It wasn't until 1961 that they finally gave him a proper burial with full military honors. To this day, Captain Hassan is considered a hero of the Egyptian Revolution. His actions inspired thousands of Egyptians to rise up against the British. 2 months after the Battle of Ismailia, these efforts would culminate in the famous Battle of Kantara, where the Egyptian forces dealt a crushing blow to the British. By February 1954, the British were forced to sign an agreement that gave control of the Suez Canal to the Egyptians. With that, the British occupation of Egypt came to an end. And now you know the amazing true story of Captain Hassan. Wow, right? These ancient stories are really fascinating. Did you enjoy this video? Then check out this playlist for similar videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss out on new videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.